name is Kathy, and I get lost if I try to wing it, so I've got my little notes here for my memorial to Bart. I'm Bart's friend from back in the day. Just the fact that we are now old enough to refer to back in the day is somehow strange. Time has gotten away from us all. I hope no one's expecting angelic stories. I don't have any of those to share, but I will share some of my memories of my rascally and artistic friend. When I think of Bart, I remember his sense of humor, his quick wit, his love of music and the written word, his artistic side, and his stubbornness. Please remember, stubbornnness is not necessarily a bad thing. I have known Bart since I was about 18 years old, so about 20 years. Okay, about 34 years. My earliest memories of Bart are at his apartment at Victoria Park with pumpkin-colored walls. That was one of my first clues that Bart was not your average guy. I mean, what bachelor back then actually cared what color his walls were? Bart was already a friend of my future and now ex-husband Ron, who lived in the same complex as Bart. They hung out a lot, and it was Bart who helped Ron compile the music for our wedding. They stayed up late many nights working on recording those tunes. So it only made sense when I got a call on our wedding morning that Bart was running late due to some difficulty that he had the night before. They were late, but made it in the nick of time. He came with Alan. And we held the service, so we were married at 1:20 instead of 1 o'clock. And for details of this difficulty, you'll have to catch up with me later. Bart actually lived with Ron and I and our son Matthew, who was around 2 at the time in the mid-'80s. Bart had fallen on some hard times financially, so the 4 of us lived in our little house, which was 13 feet wide, for a couple of months, until he saved up money and got his artist loft off of Queen Street. For the most part, we got along well, except when I told Bart he had stinky feet. Bart was most offended and denied that his feet smelled anything other than wonderful. We had quite a battle over it. How silly when you think of it. But that shows true friendship when you can argue over silly things. However, I think after all these years, if I asked Marilyn, she'd agree with me. See. I have many funny memories of Bart. The New Year's Eve, about 20 of us were at a Greek place, and we were smashing the plates as the Greeks do, and then we all staggered back to Bart's little place at College Park. Bart and my mother in a water fight at my son's christening. She told him, "Don't you dare throw that on me, Bart," and I don't think Bart could resist a dare. Now that also shows how brave Bart is, because if you knew my mom, you would understand. I remember Bart spent some Christmases with our family, and I remember Bart entertaining my old aunts. There were 3 of them. Well, 2 old aunts and my grandmother, and I'm not sure what he was saying to them, that they were blushing hard. Bart trying to work at my factory doing repetitive manual labor and losing his temper. Let's just say Bart was not cut out for factory work. However, Bart did design my first company logo, and that was more up his alley. Those are a few of the memories of Bart that make me smile. Bart and I drifted apart over the years, as tends to happen. We spoke a few times, some good talks, some not so great talks, but always honest. You could always count on Bart for speaking his mind. I think you'll agree. I had not seen Bart for many years, and my best friend Karen passed away 4 years ago, and Bart came to the funeral. As we spoke and caught up, it was the first time I found out about Bart's medical struggles. Since then, we have had a bit more contact, for which I am grateful. Marilyn, I hope you know how much Bart loved you. I have never met you before today, but I will tell you, Bart just could not understand how a woman like you could love a man like him. Those were his words to me. You were his rock and his love to death, Marilyn. I'm so grateful he found his soul partner in you. Bart really needed that kind of love and devotion in his life, don't we all? I have a message from our mutual friend Colin Tyler, who sends his condolences, and he writes, "It was heartwarming to read how such devastation in the Cross family has also brought jubilance to numerous families through the most awesome gift of mankind, the gift of life through organ donation. May the spirit of new life be your companion of remembrance, Marilyn, and may it somehow help ease the pain of his loss." I don't write poetry, so I searched on the net to find a little poem that I thought Bart might like, and it's called Sing Well by Joyce Grenfell. "If I should die before the rest of you, break not a flower, nor inscribe a stone, nor when I'm gone speak in a Sunday voice, but be the usual selves I have known. Weep if you must, parting is hell, but life goes on, so sing as well." Rest in peace, Bart.